Ave Regina, Mater misericordiae, vita dulcedo, estes nostra salve.
The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. Jesus entered a village where a woman whose name was Martha welcomed him. She had a sister named Mary, who sat beside the Lord at his feet, listening to him speak. Martha, burdened with much serving, came to him and said, "Lord, do you not care that my sister has left me by myself to do all the serving? Tell her to help me." The Lord said to her in reply, "Martha, Martha, you are anxious and worried about many things. There is need of only one thing. Mary has chosen the better part, and it will not be taken from her." The Gospel of the Lord. This morning in the Gospel, in the first reading, Jonah reveals to us the power of prayer. And this isn't about the power of prayer to change God's mind. This is about the power of prayer to change the mind of the people of Nineveh and us, I pray. And though he was reluctant, he preached, and his words were filled with the power of the Holy Spirit, and they changed the heart of the people. And it says God relented, but he did so because they changed. The change happened in the people. And this is what prayer can do to us. It brings us to a place where we can change from the inside out, change our hearts. Prayer is a battle, however. It says that in the Catechism. And it's a battle against ourselves and against the devil, who does not want us to be in union with God. And so he sows in us seeds of doubt and discouragement and all these things. Many Christians unconsciously regard prayer as incompatible with other more important things of life. And yet for us as Christians, that is not true. Prayer is fundamental to everything and is the thing. On the other hand, there's a balance, for example, between Martha and Mary. There is a time to work. There is a time to care for one another. And there is a time for prayer. And between Martha and Mary, these things get a little confused, as you can see. And it's what, however, a good spiritual life, that we learn the balance between balancing the work and the prayer. A lot of times the excuse is, "I don't have time." That is a revelation of a misplaced priority. That my spiritual life with God is not as important as other things. Martha, she reveals that she's too busy. That's another great excuse to not pray. Mary fixes her attention on Jesus, however. On the other hand, Martha is distracted. She's distracted and worried about all the care that has to be taken for the food and all the other preparations. Martha is the epitome of distractions in prayer. One may sit in adoration in the chapel and constantly be preoccupied by their phones. Does that ever happen? And always being led back to that phone when I should be praying and focusing my attention. Finally, people don't realize that they might have spent a lot of time saying they were in prayer, but they spent a lot of time daydreaming. I have been a victim of that, I must admit. And what happens with daydreaming is it's very easy to fool yourself into thinking, I've prayed for an hour, but my mind was thinking about all kinds of other things. And so I leave the adoration chapel thinking I had a great hour of prayer when I did only daydreaming and didn't even commune with God, who was there to see me and I to see him. This does make prayer a battle. When these distractions come, it's a sign to put down the phone. Turn away from the distractions and turn to prayer instead. You can make your distractions even a prayer. So if somebody you worry about comes into your mind, then you turn that into a prayer. The Holy Spirit may be saying that person needs a prayer. And so we turn that into prayer. Distractions come of all kinds of things. Lord, I am sorry for this. Please help me to focus my attention. And by the way, Mr. Guardian Angel, you're not helping me here. Distractions reveal things that we are attached to, where we're thinking about obsessively, that we might have to look at later. Why am I so attached to this? Why do I keep going on to that? Jesus, and so the response when you start to see these things is, Jesus, I love you. Please help me trust you more. Please help me fix my mind where it's supposed to be, because I want to be in prayer and communion with you. There's an old saying that I made up a long time ago. Trying to pray is prayer. And it, just like it says in the Catechism, it's a battle, so it's going to require effort from us. It's going to require a struggle. And yet we can be victorious. And what you see here in the book in Jonah is the Holy Spirit animates what Jonah is saying. It makes his words powerful. And so we appeal to the Holy Spirit to work inside of us. And St. Paul says this. He says, when you don't know how to pray, the Spirit prays in you with moans and groans deep inside. In other words, your soul gets involved and you start to really give your heart to Christ and the Lord. Give me the grace, O Lord, to put my priorities of prayer in their proper place.
Regina Celi, letare, alleluia, qui aquam meruisti portare, alleluia, resurrexit sicut dixit,